It seems as if market conditions are starting to cool ever so slightly in Atlanta and the Marietta area specifically. I talked to a lot of my friends around the country, and in different regions, they're starting to see a little more aggressive inventory buildup than we're seeing here in Marietta. But we're seeing it ever so slightly. And in today's weekly market report, I'm going to show you a couple of indicators that may mean that the Marietta market is getting a little bit more favorable for buyers. You see, every single week, we analyze every listing in Marietta and all of the Atlanta surrounding areas. We look at inventory levels, supply, demand, pricing, and we analyze all that so that you can keep abreast of what's happening in the market real time. And we have these numbers before many of the other popular online portals offer this information. So if this is something that you would find helpful for your area, whether you live in Marietta or Montana, you have links in the comments below where you can fill in your zip code or city and get these reports on a weekly basis for yourself. Not everybody loves to analyze stats and data, so we created this market action index that kind of takes all that information and just boils it down with one number and says, is it a good market for buyers or is it a good market for sellers? And in today's market action index, we are at a level of 70, which if you look at this thermometer, it's showing that we are a little bit to the left of where we were a month ago. So what that means is the market is starting to gravitate closer to a buyer's market, but we're a long ways from being there. And because of that, the sellers are still getting multiple offers in some cases, or at least significant activity. So let's look at how the sellers are responding to the market right now. And we're going to do that by looking at median list price. So look at this trend. The dotted line, the blue dotted line, represents what we're seeing on a 7-day period basis. The dark line is the 90-day smoothed out average. And we're still seeing sellers increasing their list price over what they were listed even just, well, let's go back to May 13th. I mean, look how much it's increased since May 13th. The reason that is, I believe, is that the inventory is still low. So sellers who have been kind of on the fence, waiting to sell, are now trying to jump on the bandwagon and get their house sold before we see any sort of more competition out there. And so it seems to be working at the current time because most of the listings that we've taken over the last few weeks have sold very quickly and have still received one offer pretty quickly, if not a couple offers. So let's see how the buyers are responding to these increased prices. Let's look at how many homes are coming on the market. And if you look here, we've seen an increase in the amount of inventory week after week, which isn't uncommon this time of the year. If you look at where we were last week, we were at 479 homes. This week it was 472. It's pretty much stayed level. But what we typically see towards the end of the summer is inventories starts to go up. So we're going to be watching that to see if it goes up at more dramatic amounts, because a lot of cities are seeing dramatic spikes in the number of homes on the market, which is going to start to impact prices. We are not seeing that quite yet in Marietta. We've got a seasonal increase. And lastly, I want to look at one more chart, and that's properties with a price decrease. We are starting to see more. Look at this, 38.5% of the homes that are currently on the market did a price decrease last week. That is a growing number from where we were at the beginning of this year. With all these sellers being very optimistic and trying to push that price, I think what we're going to see over the next few weeks as the market starts to cool down, we get out of the summer season, we're going to see an increase in price decrease. With the market being as uncertain as it is right now, if you are in the market to sell your house or in the market to buy a house, make sure you choose a realtor that understands market conditions. so that you don't make a very costly mistake. So make sure you give someone from my team a call. We would love to help advise you on the best course of action for your family.